that everybody knows what's happening. So I'll mute all now. And welcome everyone. It's so good to see so many people coming, many of whom were with us last month, but welcome particularly to those who were not with us last month. It's good to see some new arrivals. Tonight the quiz will have 6 rounds of 10 questions in each round. One of these will be a sound round, so I'll be sharing sound with you, and one will be a picture round, so I'll be sharing the screen for pictures with you. As Linda said in her introductory email to everybody, you'll be marking your own, so we just trust U3A's integrity, and what we'll ask you to do at the end of each round is to send a private chat message to Linda Matheson, so that she can know how many points you scored in each round. Now, during each round, I'll read out each question twice, and then at the end of each round, I'll unmute people, or rather, I'll invite you to unmute yourselves, because I can't do it centrally. And anyone who wishes me to repeat a question again, or who has anything to ask, can do so at that point. Is everybody happy with that? Thumbs up will do for that. Okay, and you can all hear me, I hope. So we'll start now with round 1. And those who were here last time may remember that I started last time with one that was about places around these islands. This month, it's going to be writers from around these islands. So question 1 is, which Welsh author created the fictitious village of Llaragwb, which is in fact the word bugger all spelled backwards? Which Welsh author created the fictitious village of Llaragwb, which is bugger all spelled backwards? And if anyone wants me to go more slowly, or to rephrase, or to repeat a question, just unmute yourself and say so, and then remute yourself. Ready for question 2 then? Question 2 is, by what name was the historical novelist Edith Pargeter better known? Among her creations was Brother Cadfael. By what name was historical novelist Edith Pargeter better known? Among her creations was Brother Cadfael, played of course by Sir Derek Jacobi in the TV version. Oh, we have another arrival. Okay, question number 3. Which Irish writer was the only person in the 20th century to win both a Nobel Prize for Literature and an Academy Award? Which Irish writer was the only person in the 20th century to receive both a Nobel Prize for Literature and an Academy Award? That achievement has, of course, now been matched by Bob Dylan, but this is the only person in the 20th century to do so. Question number 4. Last night I dreamt I went to Manderley again is the first line of which novel which inspired a film of 1940 by Alfred Hitchcock? Last night I dreamt I went to Manderley again is the first line of which novel which inspired a film of 1940 by Alfred Hitchcock? Is the pace about right for you? Is that okay? That's fine, thank you. Question 5. The 1926 poem, A Drunk Man Looks at the Thistle, is one of the most famous works by which very political Scottish poet? The 1926 poem, A Drunk Man Looks at the Thistle, is one of the most famous works by which very political Scottish poet? Do let me know if you need a little longer between questions for conversation between your team. Number 6. Who was portrayed by Kate Winslet and Judi Dench in the same biographical film of her life in 2001? Who was portrayed by Kate Winslet and Judi Dench in the same biographical film of her life in 2001? Number 7. What Scottish novelist wrote the series of novels which were adapted into the ITV series Wire in the Blood, which ran from 2002 to 2009? What Scottish novelist wrote the series of novels which were adapted into the ITV series Wire in the Blood, which ran from 2002 to 2009? Question 8. A journalist born in Wales is editor of Private Eye, as well as being a regular TV broadcaster renowned for his caustic wit. Who is he? A journalist born in Wales is editor of Private Eye, as well as being a regular TV broadcaster renowned for his caustic wit. Who is he? Number 9. Which Northern Irish poet was a visiting professor at Harvard and professor of poetry at Oxford, and was described in an obituary in the Independent as, and I quote, probably the best known poet in the world? Which Northern Irish poet was a visiting professor at Harvard, professor of poetry at Oxford, and was described in an obituary in the Independent as probably the best known poet in the world? And finally, number 10, which Scottish writer and historian was Governor General of Canada from 1935 to 1940 under his title of Baron Tweedsmuir? Which Scottish writer and historian was Governor General of Canada between 1935 and 1940 under his title as Baron Tweedsmuir? Okay. Anyone like to hear any question again, please unmute and ask me.
Sorry, could I have the first two again? I thought it was 7 for 7:30.
No problem, I'll give you the first two. Question 1 is, which Welsh author created the fictitious village of Llaragub, which is bugger all spelled backwards?
Thank you.
And number 2 is, by what name was the historical novelist Edith Pargeter better known? Among her creations was Brother Cadfael.
Thank you.
Ian,
Yeah,
every time you speak, there's an echo and it all comes through twice, and it's a job to hear what you're saying.
I don't understand why that should be, because I'm on my own here. Linda's in the other room and she's muted.
I don't have any problems with
Bob,
an echo.
it's our Facebook that's causing it. It's Isabel's reacting to it.
Oh, right.
This
Okay.
is your sound is too high.
Hi, could we have question 4 and 10 again, please?
Certainly you may. Question 4. Last night I dreamt I went to Manderley again is the first line of which novel that inspired a film of 1940 by Alfred Hitchcock? And number 10, which Scottish writer and historian was Governor General of Canada between 1935 and 1940 under his title of Baron Tweedsmuir?
Probably. Got 3 bits here, so I don't know how many ones.
Ian, number 9, please.
Number 9, which Northern Irish poet was a visiting professor at Harvard, professor of poetry at Oxford, and was described in an obituary in the Independent as probably the best known poet in the world? Are we ready to receive the answers yet? Anyone need more time? Okay, then I shall read out the answers. Question 1, the Welsh author that created Llaragub is Dylan Thomas. Number 2, Edith Pargeter, who created Brother Cadfael, was better known as Ellis Peters. Number 3, the only person in the 20th century to win both a Nobel Prize for Literature and an Academy Award is George Bernard Shaw. Number 4, last night I dreamt to Manderley again is the first line of the novel Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. Number 5, A Drunk Man Looks at the Thistle is one of the most famous works by Hugh MacDiarmid. Number 6, the writer who was portrayed by Kate Winslet and Judi Dench in the same film of her life in 2001 was Iris Murdoch. Number 7, the Scottish novelist who wrote the series of novels adapted into Wire in the Blood was Val McDermid. Number 8, the journalist born in Wales who is editor of Private Eye, as well as being a regular broadcaster renowned for his caustic wit, is of course Ian Hislop. Number 9, the Northern Irish poet, probably the best known poet in the world, was Seamus Heaney. And number 10, the Scottish writer and historian who was Governor General of Canada was John Buchan, the writer of the 39 Steps. Does anyone have any questions or any queries about these?
I haven't got any questions, but I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what to do, how to give scores out. Sorry.
Okay, if your team marks its own, and then when you know your total score, could you send an individual private chat message to Linda, my wife Linda, to tell her what score your team got?
Right, and is her text number?
No, you don't need a text number. Use the chat on Zoom.
Oh,
and if you look at,
got it. Yep.
You'll find that you can send a private chat to Linda.
Yes, lovely. Okay, thank you.
And Linda's keeping a spreadsheet of the scores. So we'll give you a moment or two to do that, and then we'll move on to round 2.
Good, isn't it? Yeah.
Well versed on Zoom, right?
No.
Okay, I'll mute everyone again. If we're all ready, I'll move on to round 2. And round 2 is animation on film, in film and on television. All about animations. And question 1, what technique of animation was developed by Jerry Anderson in the 1960s series Thunderbirds and Captain Scarlet and the Mysterons? What name did Jerry Anderson give to that particular technique of animation? Came up at the very beginning of every show. What technique of animation was developed by Jerry Anderson in the 1960s series Thunderbirds and Captain Scarlet and the Mysterons? Question 2 is one for the fans of Nick Park. In the 1989 short film A Grand Day Out, to what destination do Wallace and Gromit travel? In the 1989 short film A Grand Day Out, to what destination do Wallace and Gromit travel? Question number 3. In 1972, what became the first American animated film to receive an X rating from the Motion Picture Association of America because of its use of profanity and its depiction of sex and drug taking? In 1972, what became the first American animated film to receive an X rating from the Motion Picture Association of America because of its use of profanity and its depiction of sex and drug taking? It was, of course, quite notorious at the time. Question number 4. Again, tell me if I'm going too fast. I'll slow down for you if you want, if you need to talk more between questions. Question 4. In which British television series could you meet the captain of a ship called the Flying Dustman? In which British television series could you meet the captain of a ship called the Flying Dustman, as opposed to the Flying Dutchman? Number 5. Which film from 1971 that was a mixture of live action and animation climaxes with an army of museum exhibits of knights' armour and military uniforms driving off a landing force of Nazis? Which film from 1971 that was a mixture of live action and animation climaxes with an army of museum exhibits of knights' armour and military uniforms driving off a landing force of Nazis? Number 6. The half-century of which cartoon character was celebrated in 1990 in a book subtitled 50 Years and Only One Grey Hair, with hair being spelled H-A-R-E? The half-century of which cartoon character was celebrated in 1990 in a book subtitled 50 Years and Only One Grey Hair? Number 7. According to one of its creators, the concept for which animated film from 2000 originated as a spoof of the 1963 film The Great Escape? According to one of its creators, the concept for which animated film of 2000 originated as a spoof of the 1963 film The Great Escape? Question number 8. In a 1988 film, where does Bob Hoskins, playing the part of Eddie Valiant, have to go to investigate a murder? In a 1988 film, where does Bob Hoskins, playing the part of Eddie Valiant, have to go to investigate a murder? Number 9. Which character in The Simpsons, named after Matt Groening's younger sister, is a talented saxophonist? Which character in The Simpsons, named after Matt Groening's younger sister, is a talented saxophonist? And number 10. Which actor, broadcaster and playwright provided the voice for Prince John in the 1973 Disney cartoon Robin Hood? Which actor, broadcaster and playwright provided the voice for Prince John in the 1973 Disney cartoon Robin Hood? Very distinctive voice, this gentleman. Okay, does anyone want any question repeated? Unmute and ask, please. Nobody needing questions repeated?
Yeah, could I have number 3 repeated, please?
You could indeed. In 1972, what became the first American animated film to receive an X rating from the Motion Picture Association of America because of its use of profanity and its depiction of sex and drug taking?
Could I have some of that, please? Oh, sorry. Could I have questions 1 and 4 again, please?
Numbers?
1 and 4.
1 and 4, okay. Number 1 is what was the name given by Jerry Anderson to the technique of animation he developed in the 1960s series Thunderbirds and Captain Scarlet and the Mysterons? And number 4 was in which British television series could you meet the captain of a ship which was called the Flying Dustman?
Could I have number 5 again, please, Ian?
You could. Which film from 1971 that was a mixture of live action and animation climaxes with an army of museum exhibits of knights' armor and military uniforms driving off a landing force of Nazis? And the teams still need a little time to discuss. Okay, are we ready for me to give the answers then? We seem to be. No one's saying no. Okay, question 1. Jerry Anderson's technique of animation was called supermarionation. He called it supermarionation, and it came up at the beginning of every episode of Thunderbirds and Captain Scarlet. Number 2, Wallace and Gromit and their A Grand Day Out travelled to the moon. Question 3, the first American animated film to receive an X rating from the Motion Picture Association of America was Fritz the Cat. Number 4, well, the British TV series in which you could meet the captain of a ship called the Flying Dustman. Well, the Flying Dustman was a ship which was sailed by the enemy of Captain Pugwash, Cutthroat Jake. So it's Captain Pugwash. Number 5, the 1971 film, which climaxed with that amazing scene of museum exhibits of knights' armour and military uniforms driving off the Nazis, was Bedknobs and Broomsticks, with Angela Lansbury and David Tomlinson. Number 6, the half century of the character celebrated in 1990 as 50 years and only one grey hair was, of course, Bugs Bunny. Number 7, according to one of its creators, the film that was loosely based on The Great Escape was Chicken Run. Number 8, in Who Framed Roger Rabbit in 1988, Bob Hoskins had to go to Toontown to investigate the murder. Number 9, the character in The Simpsons who plays the sax is Lisa. And number 10, the actor, broadcaster and playwright who provided the voice of Prince John in Robin Hood was Peter Ustinov. So again, if you could count up your scores and send them to Linda by private chat. Can I go back to normal, please, Linda?
You are, Ian.
Except that I'm on a spotlight video at the moment and I don't particularly want to be anymore.
It's not me, it's Phyllis. I'm sure Phyllis will sort you out in a minute.
Okay, thank you.
That's it.
Yeah, now I've got Linda on the focus.
No.
Now I've got you, so let me do that. That's okay, I've got it now.
It changed to that on mine, and I went back and changed
it automatically
the gallery view.
changed at the end of that round.
Mine didn't go back automatically to the gallery. I had to click it.
I had to change it on Zoom.
Okay, that's the first 2 rounds. Linda, are you ready with the scores for round 1 yet? No, she's not. She's still marking. Sorry? It's round 1 I was asking for. Right, Linda are you going to share that then? Linda will now share the scores from round 1.
You're still muted.
Wake up.
Right, you seeing that?
Oh.
Yeah.
I need to sort it, but I haven't sorted it yet.
Okay.
8, 4, 5, 6, 8, 7.
Well, we've got at the moment West Lothian in the lead with Wooden Tops, Airheads and Causeway Giants very close behind.
Oh yeah, we're 37. Number 37.
Dagenham? Who the hell lives in Dagenham?
Oh.
1, 2, 6, 3.
Well, just trying to sort it.
That makes no difference. I mean, there are people on YouTube, she said as well, didn't she? So
Facebook.
yeah, sorry, Facebook.
Okay.
So
Ian,
well done to West Lothian in round 1.
or Linda, can you hear me?
Yes.
Past the cupboard. No, that's kitchen cupboard.
Sorry to quibble, but Dagenham got 8 for round 1.
She's not going on through the individual schools.
Saltburn got 9.
No.
Sorry, what was that?
I said Dagenham got 8 for round 1, not 6.
Saltburn got 9 apparently.
Okay, I'll double check.
Thank you.
Thought I'd written it all down quite correctly, but I'll double check.
Thanks a lot.
No probs.
Right. Now comes the first of the challenges. Do we think we're ready with that, Linda? Linda says, yep, we're ready with round 2. So let's hope all the transcription's been accurate. So here come the scores after round 2. Wooden Tops currently in the lead. Then the Airheads equal with Causeway Giants. Then Dagenham and then Evesham Eggheads. But again, some pretty impressive scoring there. Causeway and Airheads both get, in fact, 3 teams getting 9 on round 2. That's very good.
West Lothian were higher than Dagenham. We had, oh, you mean in that round? Or did you mean in
on
total?
that round, yeah.
All right, okay. We did
Linda gave
badly
you
in
the
that
round,
round.
gave you the scores for each round, and then also gave you the total scores.
Right.
Shall I ask her to reshare it?
That's okay. I saw there. It was just that you didn't seem to be saying what it said on the list, but that's because
that was probably my fault.
Yeah.
So we'll move on to round 4, and round 4 is on world history. That is the world outside Europe. So there's nothing British or European in this round at all. Question 1. Which country was ruled by the Emperor Meiji between spelled M-E-I-J-I, between 1868 and 1912? Which country was ruled by the Emperor Meiji between 1868 and 1912? Question number 2. What group of Australian workers held a rebellion known as the Eureka Stockade in 1854? What group of Australian workers held a rebellion called the Eureka Stockade in 1854? Question number 3. By what name is Maria Eva Duarte, born in 1919, better remembered? By what name is Maria Eva Duarte, born in 1919, better remembered? Question 4. Which major Asian city owes its foundation in 1818 to the British colonial administrator Sir Stamford Raffles? Which major Asian city owes its foundation in 1818 to the British colonial administrator Sir Stamford Raffles? Question 5. In Norse mythology, the bridge between Asgard, where the gods lived, and Midgard, the earth, was called Bifrost. What natural feature did it represent? In Norse mythology, the bridge between Asgard, where the gods lived, and Midgard, the earth, was called Bifrost, B-I-F-R-O-S-T. What natural feature did it represent? Number 6. The group calling itself the Righteous and Harmonious Fists attempted a revolution in China between 1899 and 1901. By what name is this rising known in the West? The group, calling itself the Righteous and Harmonious Fists, attempted a revolution in China between 1899 and 1901. By what name is this group known in the West, or rather this rising known in the West? Number 7. Which empire in America, before the arrival of the Europeans, had a capital city called Cuzco and communicated by runners carrying knotted coloured strings called quipu? Which empire in America, before the arrival of the Europeans, had a capital city called Cuzco, C-U-Z-C-O, and communicated by runners carrying knotted coloured strings called quipu, Q-U-I-P-U? Actually, it depends. Maybe we do have one sort of European question here because it covers both Europe and Asia. Born in Prussia as Princess Sophie of Anhalt-Zerbst, under what title did she reign in Russia between 1762 and 1796? Born in Prussia as Princess Sophie of Anhalt-Zerbst, under what title did she reign in Russia between 1762 and 1796? Number 9. Which African country, previously known as Northern Rhodesia, became independent in 1964 under its president Kenneth Kaunda? Which African country, previously known as Northern Rhodesia, became independent in 1964 under its president Kenneth Kaunda? And number 10, in the 1820s, Jean-Francois Champollion deciphered the writing on which artifact brought to France from Egypt by a soldier during the Napoleonic Wars, and this solved the secret of Egyptian hieroglyphics. In the 1820s, Jean-Francois Champollion deciphered the writing on which artifact brought to France from Egypt by a soldier during the Napoleonic Wars. This solved the secret of hieroglyphics. And again, if anyone would like a question repeated, please let me know.
Ian, were there 12 questions in that round?
10?
Sorry? 1,
10
2,
questions.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh gosh, I've got my numbers mixed up. Right, okay.
No, I had 10 questions in every round.
Ian, could I have number 2 again, please?
Number 2, what group of Australian workers held a rebellion known as the Eureka Stockade in 1854?
And number 5, please.
Number 5, in Norse mythology, the bridge between Asgard, where the gods lived, and Midgard, the earth, was called Bifrost. What natural feature did it represent? Must admit I'd forgotten I had that one in when I said there was nothing in Europe, because the Norse are in Europe. So in Norse mythology, the bridge between Asgard, where the gods lived, and Midgard, the earth, was called Bifrost. What natural feature did it represent? Any others?
Number 9.
Number 9, which African country, previously known as Northern Rhodesia, became independent in 1964 under its president Kenneth Kaunda?
Any ideas on that?
You're not muted if you're doing that. People will hear your discussion.
I've sorted it, Ian.
Thank you.
Ian, please.
Sorry?
Number 6, please.
Number 6, the group calling itself the Righteous and Harmonious Fists attempted a revolution in China between 1899 and 1901. By what name is this rising known in the West? Are we ready to have the answers? Looks as though we may be, so I'll give you the answers. Question 1, the country ruled by the Emperor Meiji between 1868 and 1912 is Japan. Number 2, the Aussie workers who had the Eureka Rebellion in 1854 were gold miners. Number 3, Maria Eva Duarte is better remembered as Eva Perón. Number 4, the major Asian city owing its foundation to Sir Stamford Raffles is Singapore. Number 5, Bifrost, the bridge between Asgard and Midgard, represents the rainbow. Number 6, the group calling itself the Righteous and Harmonious Fists. That's a big clue because in the West, this rising is known as the Boxer Rebellion or the Boxer Rising. Number 7, the empire in America with the capital city of Cuzco that communicated by runners carrying quipu is the Inca Empire. Number 8, Princess Sophie of Anhalt-Zerbst reigned in Russia as Catherine the Great or the Empress Catherine II. Number 9, Northern Rhodesia under Kenneth Kaunda became Zambia. And number 10, the artifact deciphered by Jean-Francois Champollion was the Rosetta Stone. So once again, if you could add up your scores and send them on the chat to Linda, please. While I set up the next trick, round 5, picture round. I'm only setting it up just now. Yes, please.
Sorry, Ian.
Yes.
We missed the answer to number 1 in the fourth round.
Number 1, Japan.
Thank you. Brilliant.
Linda's now sharing you the scores to date. Could everybody check that she has it correct at the moment? Number 1, first place after the first three rounds, Causeway Giants. Second, the Wooden Tops. Third, the Airheads. Fourth, Dagenham. Fifth, equal, the Pandemic Players and the Evesham Eggheads. And in 7th place, West Lothian. As last month, some very high scores there. I mean, 26 out of 30 is quite a high score. Yeah, I noticed last month's champions, yes.
Ian, I was at Eva Perón's grave earlier this year.
Were you indeed, Douglas?
I was indeed.
Well, you'd have known the answer to that one then.
I did indeed.
Okay, we're moving on to round 5. Now, they tell me that the worst thing you can do to anybody is share your holiday photographs. Well, I'm going to do the worst thing possible for you because we have been all over the place, and round 5 is going to be called Where's Linda? And this is Linda pictured in various locations across the world. Now, this time I'll read the questions, but you're also going to see the questions. So just let me get the sharing screen up. And I'll start the slideshow from the beginning. Can everybody see question 1? In which city is this concert hall called the Concertgebouw? You can see the word Concertgebouw along the top, just under the pediment. Question number 2. Which famous building is Linda standing in front of? Question 3. Went too far there. Previous one. Linda experiencing the naturalistic architecture of Antonio Gaudi in which city? Number 4, there's Linda in one of the most famous squares in Europe. Which city is she visiting? Number 5. Here, the two of us meeting locals who are spreading fairy dust in a Restart Mall shopping centre built from shipping containers. In which city recovering from earthquake damage? These 3 ladies were amazing. Spreading fairy dust and happiness to all the passers-by. Number 6. Now, I watched the football team from this city win the UEFA Cup at Hampden Stadium in Glasgow in 2007. But which city is Linda visiting? Some of the costuming of the people in the picture might give you a wee clue, as at least to the country, if not necessarily the city. If anybody knows the history of the UEFA Cup, that might give you a further clue. Number 7, which island has these windmills and an area known as Little Venice? Number 8. 2 of us again in a Roman amphitheatre in a Spanish city which shares its name with a city in Colombia. Which city? Number 9. Which hill has Linda climbed to reach this ancient monument? So I don't want the name of the monument, I want the name of the hill that she's climbed to reach it. And number 10, here is Linda at an ancient fortress and palace called Sigiriya, which means Lion Rock. Which country was she visiting? Okay, does anyone want to see any of them again?
Yes, please. Could I have 5 again, please?
I'll tell you what, I'll just run through the whole lot again. How would that do?
Yeah, fine.
I'll just run through them all again. You've seen them once. If I run through them again, then you'll have a chance to see them having discussion with your team.
That looks like Sri Lanka to me.
Somebody is talking unmuted and therefore people can hear. Douglas. There's number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Eight. 9. And 10.
Had I known that he was going to do this kind of thing to me, I think I might have got my hair done and went and got some
Ian, please.
This is the second time he's done this to me.
It is.
Ian,
I
please
agree.
could we
Yeah.
say number 5 again?
Yeah, I'll have to bring him back up again.
Thank you.
I think I'll have to restart the screen share as well, because I think I'd stopped screen sharing. Number 5. What's happened to it? Slideshow from beginning. There we are. Here's number 5. I've clicked it through to number 5.
Sorry, Ian, I'm completely out of sync. Could you run quickly through them all again? I've got my numbers all mixed up again.
Okay, I'll just start it from the beginning then.
Sorry about that.
Not at all. 1. 2. 'Went too far. 3. 4. 5. 6. 6. It went over quickly there. 7. 8. 9. And that went straight through there. And there's 10. Okay, are we ready? All the teams ready for me to give you the answers now? Okay, number 1, the concept of Gabal is in Amsterdam. Number 2, Linda was standing in front of the Sydney Opera House. Number 3, Gaudi's architecture is, of course, very famously connected with Barcelona. And number 4, Linda was in St. Mark's Square in Venice. Number 5, the Restart Mall is in Christchurch, New Zealand. Number 6, the team that won the UEFA Cup in 2007 was Sevilla from Seville. Number 7, the lighthouses, or the windmills and Little Venice are on the Greek island of Mykonos. Number 8, the Roman amphitheatre is in Cartagena in Spain. Number 9, to reach the Parthenon, Linda had climbed the Acropolis. And number 10, Sigiriya is in Sri Lanka. So again, if you could mark your scores and send them by private chat to Linda. Before I introduce our final round, which of course is a general knowledge round, but me being me, it's a general knowledge round with a little bit of a difference. Yeah, could you share the scores up to the end of round 4, please? There we are. Causeway Giants, 2 points in the lead from the Wooden Tops now. Third equal, Dagenham and Airheads. Fifth, the Pandemic Players, and sixth equal, Evesham Eggheads and West Lothian. Now, round 4 got a lot of very high scores indeed. So your world knowledge is good. World history knowledge is very strong. Okay, the last round, general knowledge with a little bit of a difference. And the difference is that all of the answers will contain the names of materials you might find being used in the construction industry. That should become apparent as we go through. All of the answers will contain the names of each answer, will contain the name of something you might find being used in the construction industry. So question 1, who was the founder in 1895 of the annual Promenade concert series at the Royal Albert Hall? Now, of course, known as the BBC Proms. But not in 1895, because that was before the BBC existed. So number 1, who was the founder in 1895 of the annual Promenade concert series at the Royal Albert Hall? Question number 2. What is the name of the ring of standing stones found near Amesbury in Wiltshire, dating back to around 3000 BC? Got to throw you one easy one. What is the name of the ring of standing stones found near Amesbury in Wiltshire, dating back to around 3000 BC? Question number 3. Which play by Tennessee Williams takes as its title a set of figurines of animals that are the precious possession of the character Laura Wingfield? Which play by Tennessee Williams takes as its title a set of figurines of animals that are the precious possession of the character Laura Wingfield? Question 4, Unit 4 plus 2, the group Unit 4 plus 2 took which song to number 1 in the UK charts in April 1965? The group Unit 4 plus 2 took which song to number 1 in the UK charts in April 1965? Now, number 5 is probably the most difficult one of them all, and possibly the most difficult question in the whole quiz, unless you happen to have seen it yourself, as I have many years ago, because it's maybe not the best remembered film in existence, but here it goes. Steve McQueen and Richard Attenborough starred in a 1966 film based on a novel about a fictional ship, the USS San Pablo, on Yangtze River Patrol in the 1920s. What was the title of the film? Steve McQueen and Richard Attenborough starred in a 1966 film based on a novel about a fictional ship, the USS San Pablo, on Yangtze River Patrol in the 1920s. What was the title of the film? Number 6. Which superhero's alter ego is Tony Stark? Which superhero's alter ego is Tony Stark? Number 7. What name did John Lennon and his wife Yoko Ono give to the group they founded in 1969? One of its biggest successes was the 1971 hit Happy Christmas, War is Over. What name did John Lennon and his wife Yoko Ono give to the group they founded in 1969? One of its biggest successes was the 1971 hit Happy Christmas, War is Over. Number 8. Equivalent to the Speaker of the House of Commons, who was the first presiding officer of the Scottish Parliament from its reopening in 1999 until 2003? Equivalent to the post of Speaker of the House of Commons, who was the first presiding officer of the Scottish Parliament from its reopening in 1999 until 2003. Question 9. What is the nickname of the speedway track that hosts the Indianapolis 500 and has been the venue for the US Grand Prix, Formula One Grand Prix? What is the nickname of the speedway track that hosts the Indianapolis 500 and has been the venue for the US Grand Prix? And finally, which novel by Charles Dickens is partly autobiographical and was described by him as his favourite child? Which novel by Charles Dickens is partly autobiographical and was described by him as his favourite child? Again, would anyone like any question repeated?
Number 3, please, Ian. Number 3.
Number 3, which play by Tennessee Williams takes as its title set figurines of animals that are the precious possession of the character Laura Wingfield?
Number 7, please, Ian.
Oh, right. There's another one.
And number 9, please.
Okay. Airheads, would you mind muting? Thank you. Number 7 is what name did John Lennon and his wife Yoko Ono give to the group they founded in 1969? One of its biggest successes was the 1971 hit Happy Christmas, War is Over. And number 9, what is the nickname of the speedway track that hosts the Indianapolis 500 and has been the venue for the US Formula One Grand Prix?
Could you ask number 5, please, Ian?
Number 5, Steve McQueen and Richard Attenborough starred in a 1966 film based on a novel about a fictional ship, the USS San Pablo, on Yangtze River Patrol in 1920. What was the title of the film?
Yeah, I've got that one.
I can hear you, Kenny. Okay, is everybody ready for me to give the answers? Then here we go. Question 1. The founder of the proms was Sir Henry Wood. And remember, all these have got something you might find a construction, be used in construction. Number 2, the Ring of Standing Stones is, of course, Stonehenge. Number 3, Tennessee Williams' play about these figurines of animals is The Glass Menagerie. Number 4, Unit 4+2 took the song Concrete and Clay to number 1 in 1965. Number 5, McQueen and Attenborough were in one. Now, the title of the film was the sailors' own rendition of the name of their ship, the San Pablo. It's called the Sand Pebbles. Number 6, the superhero who is Tony Stark is Iron Man. Number 7, John Lennon and Yoko Ono called their group the Plastic Ono Band. And sadly, yes, there is plastic used in construction sometimes. Number 8, the first presiding officer of the Scottish Parliament from 1999 till 2003 was Sir David Steele. Number 9, the Indianapolis 500 and the US Grand Prix have been run at the Brickyard. And number 10, Charles Dickens' favourite child was David Copperfield. So could we add our scores up and pass them to Linda? And then kindly unmute yourselves, and anything you want to say can be said to me or to each other. Nobody's unmuted themselves yet. Fine, yeah. Linda suggests you might like to introduce yourselves.
Hello.
Hello, Anne.
I'm Anne Walsh, West Lothian. Run a Facebook page called U3A's based in Scotland. I'm a tutor for. I'm a trust volunteer, and I do Zoom training sessions.
Excellent, thank you very much.
I'm Angela Howe from Medway, and that is my husband Bob.
Hi.
And
welcome.
Unfortunately, our chairman, who's also very good at quizzes, is away this week. So if we have another one, we might have more help. We won't come bottom.
Okay,
Hello, I'm David Riddle, not Piddle as it appears in the score sheet. We're from North 3A.
Oops. I'm sure Linda will fix that for you immediately.
If not, I'll come and give them.
Linda says she's fixed it already.
Oh, right.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Moira McQuaid from Guildford.
Hi, Moira.
What can I tell you? I run various groups. I'm on the committee. I just set up our Facebook group.
Right.
U3A keeps me busy.
Yeah, it keeps quite a lot of people busy, I think, yes.
I'm Bob Payne from West Lothian. Previous chairman for 5 years, but now taking a more backward step.
Very good, thank you. I was interested, we had a team from West Lothian because my brother lives in West Lothian. He lives in Linlithgow.
All right.
For him.
I'm in West Lothian. West
Yeah, we have a lot of members from Linlithgow.
Have you?
He's not in the U3A, no.
No, he's not in the U3A. But he lives in he's lived in Linlithgow for something like 30 years.
We've got quite a lot of members from Linlithgow.
It's off mute, so.
Anyway, yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Life crisis.
Interesting title you have as midlife crisis there.
Yeah, we're probably a little bit past that, to be fair. But, We would have done better if we'd learned the Scottish language before the quiz. We weren't quite sure.
Rubbish.
There have been others who have told me that I don't sound very Scottish at all.
And we all voted for Scottish independence down here in England, by the way.
Oh, did you? Yeah. Trying to get rid of us.
Lady from King's Hill there.
Yes. Hello, Kings Hill. You're one of our neighbours.
Yes, hello.
I am Bill and Linda Meek from the wonderful town of Saltburn on the northeast coast of England, Whitby. We have a very big U3A group in Saltburn. It's supposed to be about the biggest in England.
Wow. How many people have you got?
I think there's over 900, 1,000.
Oh, no. Then that
Oh.
7 would beat you.
Oh. I have connections, believe it or not, with Linlithgow. Meek features in St Michael's Churchyard and previous provost. So my great-great-great-grandfather is buried in St Michael's.
Right.
Yeah.
We've got one of our members who's involved with that church, but she's not in the quiz group.
Oh, well, we've been up there quite a few times. I'm from Aberdeen. My wife here is from Stirling. So
I think we can beat you, Bill. Bill, I think we can beat you. In Evesham, we've got 1,100 members.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough then. Fair enough. We'll go and do a recount.
Sorry, we can beat 1,100. In Guildford, we've got nearly 1,800 members.
Wow.
Hey.
Oh,
Any advance?
step away then.
We're tiny little.
Representative of Edinburgh. Yeah. Our next door neighbours are Edinburgh, and they've got 2,500.
Beat that.
It's a big city, though.
Saltburn, though, only has a population of 6,000. So percentage-wise, we're probably higher.
Yeah, Edinburgh is a pretty big city.
Can
I introduce this was going to turn into a competition about size, though.
Well, you've got a nice beach at Saltburn.
Can I introduce ourselves?
Yes, please.
Yes, we are Dagenham U3A. We're only 2 years old. We had 80 members before lockdown. Now we have 46. So we're still struggling, but we're getting along. And we're entering this quiz for the second time, and we've done very well, and we're very pleased with ourselves. Thank you for organising.
Very good. Well, thank you for joining us. That's excellent.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Shirley Grundon from Causeway U3A. I think maybe I'm right. We have around 1,300 members. Is this right, folks? Everything's very active, and we've been trying to keep going through the lockdown with lots of Zoom meetings and lots of bridge, and we've been in bridge online and doing lots of things, and this has been great fun, Ian. We really enjoyed your quizzes. Some wonderful questions. Really enjoyed the music. I was singing right through to the end to try to get the songs. We're quite mixed because we have English on our team. We have a Scottish man on our team, and we have a couple of Irish. I'm Irish. It's been great fun. We've enjoyed meeting and hearing everyone. So well done.
Great. A real international team, that then.
Absolutely. That helps when you're trying to answer questions on international things.
Indeed. Are you ready? Okay, Linda's got the results.
Ta-da.
So here we go. Did everybody check to make sure that you are happy that it's been returned, that the scores actually are the ones you sent in? So it looks as though, again, very high scores, but it looks as though we have the Causeway Giants have won for the second month in a row by a single point from the Wooden Tops.
You know, they only dropped
Airheads coming third, Pandemic Players fourth, Dagenham fifth, West Lothian in sixth, and a triple tie for seventh between Moto, Guildford and Evesham. But these are good scores. And out of 60, these are all very good scores indeed.
Oh, I was sure those wooden tops had overtaken us.
Well, almost, but not quite. They were just.
I have to say, the only way is down now.
Well, there'll be big rivalries if we do this again.
Ooh.
Wooden tops are not
You're the
the wooden.
champions, therefore you're going to have to defend it, your title. And everyone will be shooting for you.
It's, am I?
I'm just noticing we don't have any Welsh teams from Wales here.
No, we had an entry from Swansea, but they withdrew a couple of days ago.
Oh.
We had been hoping to have teams from all four of the UK, all four countries in the UK this time, and Linda specifically sent emails to several U3As in Wales.
Yeah.
Got a positive response from Swansea to begin with, and an inquiry from Aberystwyth, but which didn't come to anything. But the Swansea team, having entered, then dropped out a couple of days ago. I don't know what the problem was.
I sent about 20 or 30 emails to Wales to
Oh.
try and get the four countries, but
Yeah.
unsuccessfully.
I take it you heard that from Linda. She sent about 20 or 30 emails to Wales.
There you go. Ask them if they'd like to do it again.
Right, could I just ask, would people like to repeat this exercise next month?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Because I'm quite happy to do another one next month if you want. Or if you prefer somebody else to do it, I'm quite happy for that as well.
We're used to you now. That would be great. Oh no, it's the scary
That was
category.
great, Ian. It'll be really good. It's been really good fun tonight. Excellent fun.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's the whole thing is to have a bit of fun.
He's quite good, isn't he?
Yeah. That's a great one.
I'd be very happy to do it again. I think we decided that we would make it the last Wednesday in the month. Did that last month. We said it again last Wednesday in the month this month. If you want, we can do another one for the last Wednesday next month.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great.
That's fine. I've checked my diary. I'm free.
I might have found you another member online, Kenny. They watched on YouTube and got a good score.
Yeah. Well, it's all as long as we can communicate. That's the main thing, because that helped a lot tonight. We could actually discuss with the team members what the answer was. We got a few that way by discussion rather than just.
Oh, it's always better putting heads together, no doubt about that.
Absolutely. But it's quite exhausting. I don't know quite why, but it seems to be quite tiring, this using the 4-in-1, and I don't know why. I think it's so much background noise on the phone as well.
That's possible.
But it's not bad. But
Did anybody feel that they had a really good way of communicating with their other team members?
Let's have them sitting beside you on the sofa.
That's the best way.
That's the best way possible, yes.
I don't feel ours was the greatest success because we were getting feedback from other people's
Facebook
on our Facebook.
When you say communicating with other team members, does that mean I'll have to talk to my wife occasionally?
Oh, that's a risky comment to make.
Yeah, but you said you were a Rangers supporter, didn't you? So,
oh, definitely not.
Right.
Not the other lot either.
Definitely not.
No, you have
no. My team is Motherwell.
Motherwell.
Yeah.
Mine is
in the Scottish League?
Why Motherwell, Ian? Are you from originally?
No, I'm not. The story is quite simple. When I was about 12, I saw Motherwell playing on the television at a time when they were known as the Ansell Babes, and it was a team known for classy football, and I thought that's what football should be like. I'll support them. Once you start supporting a team, even if they're no longer playing that way, you stick with them.
Yeah. No, I'm originally from the Motherwell area.
Have I hit a nerve there about Rangers?
Well, I'm supporting Arsenal tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Saturday, I mean, Saturday, yes.
Thank you very much anyway.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Really nice.
Thank you all very much for attending. I hope you've enjoyed the quiz and we'll look forward to seeing you again next month then.
Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
How do I do it?
Where is it? Just see me still on the screen. Well done, Douglas. Try to look at him, he's bouncing all over the screen.
No, this is, I've lost the phone signal.
Yeah, sorry, I actually said I was going to drop the phone signal. That's why
Right.
it was deliberate. It wasn't an accident. I said I'm putting the phone down, but obviously you didn't hear me. It's fine.
I thought we did quite well.
It wasn't bad at all, I would say. And
We won the last round. We won the last round.
well, yes. 10 out of 10 is always good when
10 out of 10 is always good, yes.
Apart from the
And there
quiz
were a
that I
few tens
said,
in different rounds from different teams.
You get
That's right. That's the sign of a good quiz, I always think.
Well,
you've got to try and get a range of scores, but you don't
it would
want
be nice to think so.
humiliate.
I'm pleased that several teams got over 50 out of 60. That's good. I want that.
Mhm. Yeah, it was.
And congratulations again, Eric and Vinny.
I contributed nothing. I was just writing them down and listening.
Were you swimming, Vinny?
You're obviously the team to beat.
I'm a great talent spotter.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's my talent.
Oh, it was a hand-picked.
Can I also just say, before you all disappear, thank you very much to Phyllis for all the help that she's given us with the admin.
Yes, thanks,
Thank
Phyllis.
you
Oh,
very
yes,
much.
yes, well
done, yes.
Gone. Thank you.
Quite a few have gone, but not everybody.
Yeah, well, I'll save the chat anyway.
Yeah,
that's good.
Good.
Thank
Time for a G&T.
I didn't even know you could do that. Save the chat.
Oh, there's somebody wanting to come across the water.
Yeah, I see that. You can come anytime. If we can come back and see that beautiful view behind you.
That's Castle Rock, just down the road, 5 miles.
Yeah,
Can I show you, Vinny? Vinny, can I show you?
Yeah.
We can see Ireland from here, just.
Yes. Yes, we can see you.
Right, Douglas has got his caravan down on the Ayrshire coast.
There's Ailsa Craig. I hope you'll maybe see it.
Need to turn your thingy round.
Yeah.
Not working, Duncan.
No, I would give up, Douglas. Try to get it in focus is a big problem.
Yeah.
Aye.
Especially when we're trying to.
Yeah, that's a bit better.
Oh no, I did see the Ailsa Craig. It was
Yes, I saw Ailsa Craig.
There it is.
I can see it.
You did see.
Very good.
Okay, folks, thanks a lot.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye, peeps. Leave.
Right.